Wait a minute. If you haven't done it already, here's your chance right now. Go over to our YouTube channel and make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel now. Go and type in The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, or you can just go right now and type in the Traveling TARDIS. You'll see it right there. This is a good chance now while you're all coming into play. You can either do a search for The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS on the YouTube channel, or just go youtube.com, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, and subscribe. We've already hit our first goal, which is 1,000 Facebook subscribers. We're trying to reach about 4,000 to 5,000 viewing hours, and we do have a lot of classic episodes for you, including today we're going to be reviewing Big Finish, and we've separated some of the categories for you. So if you're interested in just doing interviews, like with recent ones with Benji Clifford, Yi Cho, Dr. David Brin, you're more than welcome to go. We can just check out the interviews. Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann. We've also got a section just for the Doctor Who reviews for the TV show, Big Finish reviews, our Game On series, and many more. And also, don't forget, there are also two things that are exclusive for the YouTube channel: the Who Knew News and Bits of the TARDIS. You can only get those at the. Oh, that's so cute. Thanks, Melanie. So, without further ado, let's continue to our regularly scheduled program reviewing Ravagers, Doctor Who, with the reintroduction of the Ninth Doctor, Christopher Eccleston.
My name is Christian Basil. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a TARDIS. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. Welcome to the team out there. No, bring him back. I love him. Bring him back. Bring him back. There. That's who we're going to be reviewing. The return of Christopher Eccleston as the Ninth Doctor on the Big Finish episode, Ravagers. We're going to be discussing all three parts of that episode, which includes Sphere of Freedom, Cataclysm. I can't even say that. It keeps throwing me off. Cataclysm, and Food Fight, which is actually one of my favorite titles in this particular episode. We're here with the lovely Melanie D. We're here with the lovely Dave Chapman from the rathole.ca, and we're going to introduce our team. How you doing there, Dave?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you today, Christian?
Not bad. I heard you and I are drinking coffee right now to stay awake.
It's one of those days.
It's a long day today. Yeah, exactly. There.
And this show is not even the end of it for me.
Let me get into the shot. There you go.
Water.
Good stuff. Speaking of which, I'm going to get her Sherman drink. Hello, Melanie. How you doing there? Check out her stuff on Instagram at Pieces of Haley. Instagram there. How you doing there, Melanie?
Doing quite well. I got to listen to this episode of Ravagers once again today while I was painting, working on my third of 3 murals. First 2 are done. So if you're following me on Instagram, you can see all the pictures as we get these bicycle murals done for Met West in Tampa.
Awesome there.
So, yeah.
And returning, our lovely author in resident, Mackenzie Floor of The Right of Wands, and the Binge That's not the Binge Watcher's Guide to Doctor Who, and you'll be actually seeing that commercial coming up there very shortly throughout the episode. How are you doing there, Mackenzie?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Good.
Happy to be back.
Me too. Then don't forget, if you are in the chats, you can chat with us. Talk about Ravagers. But I do have to let you know, and I'm actually glad that Dave made this for us. big warning to everybody who have not heard Ravagers yet.
What?
Spoilers.
Fantastic.
We're going to be spoiling the hell out of you with this episode. So
Yep.
if you haven't heard the episode, you can pause this, come back to it later, and then check out our ratings and such. Or, you know what, if you want to just... I know some people have actually watched our shows before they watch an episode or listen to a Big Finish, and they've actually used our ratings to either think about what they're going to be listening to. You know, I mean, they go like, you know what, I heard what you said on the show. I'll go watch the episode now, even though we told them the story about what's going on out there. So, as for those of you who are not familiar with, first of all, everybody from Wizard World, thank you for joining us. Welcome. Don't forget, again, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. For those of you who are just joining us, go over to YouTube, youtube.com/The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. So just do a search for The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. You'll see us with the little purple TARDIS on the banner. Check it out there. We are going to be reviewing Ravagers. And if you're not familiar with how we do our reviews, we do 1 through 10 TARDISes, 1 being bad, 10 being awesome, and then the other numbers in between. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get things started. So, Mackenzie, 1 through 10, what did you rate Ravagers as a whole? And this is going to be all 3 episodes together. So what number did you come up with?
I'm going to give it a solid 8.
You're going to give it a solid 8. Okay, cool. All right. We're going to be working from there. Remember, the lowest score, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to be going through each episode. We're going to be rating it between commercials. So we'll be discussing the spheres of freedom first, but the person who has the lowest score will be going first. So, Dave, on a scale of 1 to 10, what did you rate Ravagers?
I also say 8. It's a good solid 8 for sure.
Good solid 8 there. Nothing flimsy. Nothing. We're not cutting a TARDIS in half or anything. Breaking the dimensional
No cutting
barrier.
TARDISes in half today.
Gotcha. Melanie, got a big higher or lower than an 8?
It's an 8.
It's an 8.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah. Because you're asking for the whole
For the
deal?
whole
An 8.
episode.
Yep.
I was hoping maybe somebody had a number higher or lower there.
Yeah,
That's more
because
fun to not.
when you started
We all
going, I
plotted this. No, we didn't.
wanted to shout objection, leading the witness. So we already know Christians is probably lower. I'm not using my
Are you?
spider sensors for that.
You know what? I've actually wrote the number down. I'm going to hide my number. This is the number right here. I'm going to keep that here. I'm not changing it. I'm not touching it. But you'll be pleasantly surprised. So, without further
Fun fact,
ado,
he has about a dozen of those with
Yes.
each number on it, just sitting off screen there. They can grab
That's
whatever
right,
you
that's
want.
All over the place.
how can I do this?
Totally set up.
How can I do this? I will do this. I wish I could. I will.
It's a
I will
joke.
have it dangling on the screen here.
Oh, that's when we saw it.
You just saw it.
Saw part of it.
Uh,
I saw a curve to it.
Okay, there is a curve. There is a curve there. But Mackenzie, since we went through with you first, we're going to be starting off with the episode Sphere of Freedom. What did you think about the Sphere of Freedom?
I liked it, though it wasn't my favorite of the 3. I really liked how the writer, Nick Briggs, in this case, jumped right into the story. So
Yeah.
you had that action, you got that mystery of like what's going on. We learn of a new companion named Nova, which she to me had a little bit of a Bill feel to her. So
Yes.
I loved her because of that. And then we had Audrey, which at the beginning I thought was a villain, but it turns out that there was a lot more to her. And as each episode went through, we got to unravel the layers and find out, oh, there's something really bad that happened. And well, of course, the Doctor is responsible for it.
Oh God! Well, she just put out the ending, so that was really the spoilers. She pretty much put the story out there. I think one of my favorite things is in the opening is that he's talking to Nova, and they hit the ground running on that, and Nova's going like, "Are you going to leave me?" He goes, "No, you just saved the universe. Sure, I'll leave you right here." So I'm just going to be taking off for you there. The one thing that I think drove me crazy, and I'm going to bring Dave in on this one. First of all, Dave, I'm going to ask what you thought about Spheres of Freedom, Sphere of Freedom, but I'm going to add this question in too. was Time Eddie just used way too much as a plot device on this thing? It's like everything's a Time Eddie. Every error is a Time Eddie.
It's definite pushing of the Time Eddies, kind of. Yeah.
It's like the sonic screwdriver. It's just like, wait a minute, that's got too much writing on it. But first of all, go ahead and tell us about a little bit what you thought of the first episode, Sphere of Freedom.
I liked it. It felt a little bit, because it is about, again, spoilers, about an evil immersive game empire, basically. So it did feel a little bit about like the TV planet.
Mm-hmm.
Like it felt a little bit like that. We're just going for the pop culture look. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. It was a really good, solid everything. But yeah, it felt old. It felt like about the right era, actually. I was gonna say it felt older, but that's not doing it justice. It felt more like a Christopher Eccleston era-ish adventure.
Yeah, and since we're getting a little bit on ahead of there, yeah, I did feel like that this episode could have picked up somewhere in his series, somewhere in his first series. You could have put it down there. He could have dropped off Rose and Captain Jack, and then all of a sudden picked up Nova, who is, well, for better term, the companion in here. And one of the things I wrote down, which I thought was funny, it was like they were talking about his wardrobe, his costume, and he goes, "It's all the rage somewhere." So I just love those little quirks in the writing and stuff like that, because it is so it is so Christopher Eccleston, where he's just talking and having some fun out there. And one of the things is, you know me when I'm looking for like the space god quotes over there, and there's the moment where he tells whoever the enemy is that he's not aware of. He said, "Clearly, you mean business. So do I." I love that. That little scene where he's talking to himself, which I would be very scared to see an episode of multiple doctors, but 2 Ninth Doctors together in the same room. That would be actually scary there. Melanie, you gave it an 8 as well. We're talking about the Sphere of Freedom. What did you think about that first episode?
I think the first episode really kind of set the ground for that this was going to be extremely timey-wimey. You're going to be playing with a lot of facets of past, present, future, and timelines. Timelines all over the place, whether or not certain things could cause paradoxes going over your own, timeline. But there was a lot of things where as you're listening, you're starting to kind of, if you're already a Doctor Who fan, you science fiction, you already know how timey-wimey things can get. There's a lot of breadcrumbs along the trail that kind of either kind of hint you towards that, or if you're not familiar with it, or B, the clues are very easy to pick up to realize, wait a minute, things are happening out of order, and we're going to have a nice box set that's going to help start weaving things together. So that's why it's like, I'm glad that for this particular episode, we're rating it as a whole, because one of the reasons I'm not giving this a 10 is that these were not standalone episodes. This would be as if this had box set, which was written, I think, beautifully for the Ninth Doctor. This just Eccleston putting on his leather jacket, and he went right back into this character. And it was written just flawlessly. I mean, it's like, I think at one, the quips that he had that sass. He had that, no, shut up. I would call you clever. Almost having the Ninth Doctor be able to say, I'd say that you're intelligent or you're clever, but I'm standing in the room. Right. Whenever Ted had said that, I had said it back to Lumic, in his first season. I always thought that was a line that seemed more Nine or grounded him to being the Doctor than necessarily the 10th Doctor. So he had those little off the cuff things. There was one, I can't remember what he said, but I think it was Nova who had asked him something, and he goes, "Reasons." And you didn't know when exactly. Nobody questioned him on it. And I'm sitting here going, that is the biggest writer loophole I've ever heard. And any other freaking genre could use that and go, that's horrible. But the Ninth Doctor saying that, there was gravity to it, because the Ninth Doctor keeps everything close to the chest. He's not going to tell you everything unless he feels, a generous, benevolent being to do that. And so this first one with Spheres, I think it laid the groundwork beautifully. It did, to echo what Dave said a little bit, it felt very Game Station-ish. So it felt real to the Doctor in his kind of timeline. And I get that this would have happened before the timeline, and it felt good. I love being able to hear more Ninth Doctor. We've always wanted more Nine. We wanted more Eccleston. This was it.
And I wrote this down. I'm trying to remember why. I said it had a Satellite 5 feel intro with Nova. It was kind of just off to the ground, and he was just walking into the room, like you said, reasons. Everybody says the 6th Doctor is the no-nonsense Doctor. I say it's 9. With his quick one-word or one-sentence phrases, and it's like, that's how it is, and that I'm going to tell you, I would think you were the smartest person in the room until I walked in. That, to me, is a signature of the 9th Doctor, because it's still, he's got the burden of the Time War on his shoulders and all the memory, so he does have a little bit of PTSD, where he probably would have had more time and compassion in his prior selves, like the 8th Doctor or the 7th Doctor, where he would have taken the time, where it's like, no, I'm not dealing with this. This is something I'm just going to go on to.
And I felt that the characters didn't have to, none of the characters in this story ever really gave any exposition. The only person who gave any exposition at all was the Doctor, which I think as an audience we're used to that, and we come to expect that. But I think all the characters were really fleshed out and already grounded in who they were, and that we were discovering more of them as they were speaking, as they were doing different, actions, what they were doing. It didn't feel like that, okay, well, we need this trope, we need this trope, we need this trope here. Everybody was who they are, and I agree with Mackenzie with that. Nova felt Bill-ish, like it was, she knows who she is, she is who she is, and all right, I'm in a different situation, all right, let's roll. And all of them, the lieutenant felt like that, the captain felt like that, and even the Marcus Aurelius, he felt like that. Like, they know who they were, and nobody did anything really out of character either, because they were all grounded, really realized. And
let me just wrap that up, because we're going to go to a commercial break. But if I feel that, I think we had enough of those characters. We knew exactly who they were from the writing that we got there. Carl Whitman says Rose softened him later, but if this is before Rose, I could see the hardiness and the secrecy. What is this before Rose? I don't even know. It is before Rose.
Yeah, if you listen to the fourth section, which is about behind the scenes, they say this is happening completely before Rose.
Okay, so this is actually perfect, because he does have that no-nonsense style that he was carrying on in and then Rose kind of softened him up later on, and then we get the 10th Doctor. But speaking of the 10th Doctor, because I have no segue, we'll be back when we return. Please continue to stay logged on, tune in. We're going to be talking about the 9th Doctor, Big Finish's Ravagers, when we return.
Bateman.
What's the Bateman?
A novel set in Florida, written by Florida author D.L. Havlin. Suspense, mystery, and murder.
Evidence is in the bait.
The Bateman is available at local bookstores and online.
The massive audio Doctor Who Bad Wolf Bluetooth TARDIS speaker. That's all I gotta say, one word. Wow. It looks like it just jumped right off the screen. Here it is in all its Bad Wolf glory. Right here is the on-off switch and the up and down volume. Right here's the speaker. The TARDIS stands about 6 inches from the bottom of the TARDIS all the way up to the top where the light is. Look at the detail. Wow.
Are you referring to this Bluetooth speaker? Oh yes, this is awesome. I was listening to Big Finish on this speaker when I was relaxing the other day, and yes, this is actually cool. And
it's the 9th Doctor's TARDIS.
It is the 9th Doctor's TARDIS. Yes, it does. And let me go ahead and turn it on. Yes. And then look at that, dude, materializing in there. So, oh yeah, and that it actually plays the cloister bell when the Bluetooth is lining up out there. So, but shush. Okay, we're back. We're reviewing. Shush. Now I know why the Doctor hits the TARDIS. Stop it. We're reviewing Ravagers, starring Christopher Eccleston, Big Finish Audio, and now we're going to be reviewing Cataclysm. I think I got it right out there. Let's change it around down there. Dave, what did you think about the second episode, Cataclysm?
It did a really good job building everything. It was a very cinematic one. It was just all over the place in a good way. is that this, you've got your Romans, you've got your soldiers, you've got all these pieces moving in a way that only the Doctor can move them.
Yeah.
Or they can move around the Doctor in some cases, I guess.
No,
it was great. It sounded brilliant. Fantastic.
Fantastic, exactly. One of the lines that I liked out there, which was when they captured Nova, the fact that intelligence is a pollution. That is, I'm like, I've never ever thought of intelligence being that way, but okay, whatever there. So, Melanie, what did you think about Cataclysm?
Trying to think how to word it.
Sure.
Again, this is one that really just kept building on the previous story. At least you had a new location, and that between the first and second and second and third, you ended basically on a cliffhanger. So if this was just like watching the television episode, you would have been like, okay, next time, this basically ended on the cliffhanger of where is Nova? Nova's gone. Is she okay? What's going on? So we basically pick up finding out that, okay, she's gone through one of the time eddies, and you have to kind of think of it as all these time eddies are all over the place. It's like little wormholes all over the damn place. They can pop up when they want to. They show up or at command. We kind of see what Audrey kind of does sometimes. And you go to them and you don't know where the heck you're going to be popping out. So here's Nova. She doesn't know where she's at. She lands herself on a planet where these little kind of droids are kind of coming after her. And that was another kind of a little, not to use the word trope too much, but it's like almost a villain that we've seen before, where like the emoji bot a little bit, where it's programmed, or a lot of the robots we've seen in Doctor Who, where they're programmed to do and serve one function, and there's no reasoning with it because it's automated. It's not going to really understand what you're talking about. It just needs to do its primary goal, which is for her, okay, well, here humanoids are on this little planet where she accidentally gets stuck. Humanoids are just basically, slave labor, or just, take out their intelligence, make them, do menial tasks. And then, okay, once they're gone, they biodegrade into, soil and green. So, she does what she can do and run. And so at that point, you kind of go in this, okay, well, is the Doctor going to find her? Is the Doctor going to be able to locate her? And I thought it was a great way of that plot point, but introducing that the Doctor could basically use DNA to look at a time eddy and find somebody. Right. And once it's already been, this is the time where it's been established where he's able to do it to her. He ends up doing it again to try finding Audrey, and he incidentally goes and finds the lieutenant. Yes. Or lieutenant in Americanese, and ends up finding him and being able to help him. So he's been, and ends up becoming another plot point or a device where he can use it to help in another and further along. So I kind of thought it was neat how it kind of introduced that concept that he can follow, the TARDIS can follow along like that. Mm-hmm. But no, it was again 888. I just think that this whole box set is not something that you can be like, oh, well, you know what? I'm just going to jump right into Cataclysm. Start with one, go all the way through. Again, the reason I'm not giving this a 10, these episodes were very short. And I don't know if that was just because you don't want to get too complex with the time with being Nicholas Briggs doing too much architecture, trying to go so crazy with the timey-wimey stuff. If it was a matter of just, getting, this is like Eccleston's first one, Big Finish out, maybe we shouldn't try getting him to do a 4-hour long, Big Finish box set, So these are very small. They're about maybe this one's about maybe just over half an hour. The first one, the same thing. So maybe then that half hour, 40-minute runtime, maybe-ish. I can check real quick. This one's 47 minutes, 31 seconds. So about the length of an episode of the TV show. Yeah, your typical Big Finish fare is a little bit longer. So that's why I can't give these 9s. I can't give these 10s because maybe it's a good thing that, he left me wanting more.
I think one of the, before we get to Mackenzie, I think one of the hardest things, I actually had to rewind the tape a couple times. I had to go back because I'm like, where are we? What are we doing? And
it's a lot of jumping around.
There was a lot of jumping around. And the problem is when you're jumping around with audio, it can throw things off to where, okay, I thought we were over here at one point. Now we're not over here. And where did this person come from? And that's what kind of drove me nuts, and why I picked my rating is that it was a lot of jumping around. But to me, do you think maybe if it extended too long, it would have lost that momentum? Because it kept going fast.
It did, because here you're thinking, where is he? Oh, I hear characters from 1959. So that must be where they're at. And then you realize, no, they got sucked from another Eddie. So it's a character from 1959 somewhere else. So it was a lot of displacing. So yeah, I agree where maybe the momentum where it was, if maybe he went too crazy with it, it might have lost. I might have gotten lost on it.
It's a River Song consistency chart. You're just not like all these pins on the board. I'm like, okay, where are we? And I literally did have to rewind to go like, okay, how did we end up here? How are we doing this? How did they end up here? Where are we going there? So, Mackenzie, we're talking about Cataclysm. What did you think about the episode there?
I had agreed that it was jumping all over the place. I actually had to go back to the first episode and re-listen to the entire thing. It was like, I had a lot, and that was one of the reasons why I gave it an 8 overall, because I like when things do jump around, but not the extreme that it was, especially the first episode where it was going from like present day to, well, what happened with Nova, and then going back to present day and back again, and it jumped way too much. And then and then when we have this whole thing, one of the things that also, it actually reminded me of an episode with, and I can't think of what Big Finish it was, but it was with the Cybermen specifically, where there was a Cyberman was saying, oh, this human's trying to have a argument, is trying to come up with the logic behind this, the reasoning, and that made me think of these creatures, that they were a lot like the Cybermen to me. So it almost felt like it was just like the same story being retold again in a different way. And I actually thought that maybe even the story was going a different way than it was, because of the way that there's something that Nine says in regards to the way he's talking to Nova, almost as if like she was the key to everything. So I'm like, what if these like things that are in her brain, that she's from a different time zone, and we're going to have a Bill thing going on here where she's being transformed? I'm like, oh, please not. Let's like, no, go the same way with Bill already.
Well, and this is nothing against Pro Mackie or her character or anything like that. I did see a lot of Bill in Nova, but it was not as a no, because Bill's character was asking a boatload of questions, whereas Nova just kind of accepted it and got it. And I did like that the doctor was like, how do you know so much? How do you get to this point? And just accept it. And she kind of becomes doctorish after a while when she takes on the historical figures, when she has to rally them up, because they have no clue what's going on out there. So she takes the lead, and I thought she was just a good time all around.
I think she was like Bill in that both of them thought out loud.
Yes.
And that if they were problem solving, they would problem solve out loud. And I would think that they would use a little bit of logic, but a lot of imagination. And just I could just see them, how both of those characters kind of problem solved aloud. And that's how for me, I kind of got that synergy between the two of them too.
No, because they do think aloud, but Bill kept asking the doctor questions, whereas Nova solved it, and in some cases solved the answers to the doctor's amusement. Like, how do you know this? How did you get to this point? And at some point, it felt like we were getting like there's more to Nova than we were expecting, which there is a little bit, but it didn't really like build into this story per se. There was just like this explanation at the end, which we'll eventually get to there. But one of the things, and this is what drove me nuts too. At the beginning, when he's talking to Audrey, or at least, no, I'm going to call her the gamer girl, the old gamer girl at this moment. He's just talking to her. And I'm just sitting there like, didn't you just lose a companion within the first 5 minutes of this segment? And now you're just talking to some woman? Aren't you going out there? Aren't you getting something? And it's finally explained, but it was just irking me. I'm like, you better have a damn explanation that he's just talking to this woman while his companion's lost out somewhere in the universe out there. So
he has all the time in the world.
He does to an extent, but he just lost his companion, who's about to become chop suey to some drones out there.
But he didn't know
Yeah.
that. And honestly, I
That's-
think this was also a doctor who had become so disconnected. He wasn't, to Carl Witzman's note from before saying Rose softened him. So
Yeah.
this is before Rose, I could see a hardness and a secrecy. So I don't see him being so attached to people at that point where I see the doctor at this moment being more, okay, I got to put a pin in that and not have that, oh God, I have to find her, blah, 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 blah. So I kind of get if once I know where this was set, why he wasn't, jumping into that TARDIS and figuring it out. He was doing his own little recon, especially on this woman, because he at the end of their conversation goes, "Yeah, I never introduced myself. And how did you know what her name was?" So he was kind of pulling information a little bit, but I also did like that when they were talking, it kind of got for me the audience to know we're going to be jumping around all over the damn place. Yeah,
Right.
but at least the two of them helped guide me into getting the framework of knowing where we're going. And then later on, we were just going without the narrative to help me.
Well, it was also the moment where Rose discovers the Doctor for the very first time because he's fighting off the Autons. But we're looking at everything the perspective from Rose's eyes, because there's this thing going on around her. She doesn't just know it yet until she ends up being stuck in the basement with the Autons, and then everything starts to take off. And I liked it because it was reflective of that in the beginnings of the Ravagers, where I love it when we're just hitting the ground running. And I don't mind that there's some confusion. In fact, it added to it because, all right, I'm now interested. What happened to Nova? Who is Nova? What's going on? So it adds the questions, but it doesn't, put it in a perspective of like, okay, I'm asking questions because it's confusing. I'm asking questions because I'm really invested in what's going on. Speaking of invested, we're going to hit a commercial break. When we continue, we're going to continue with our discussion of Ravagers, big finish episode with Christopher Eccleston, reprising his role as the Ninth Doctor. I just want to bring up that one comment that Cindy made: coffee is evil. Go ahead. Yeah, exactly. We need it, Cindy. I've been working all morning, so there you go. And author Michaela J says, hi, I want to say hello to Carlene and Graham as well, and as Carl. If you want to be part of the chats, get in there now. When we return, please stay logged on, tune in, and become part of the legend.
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin' With Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin' With Web Show features professional, yet casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin' With Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
Oh, brilliant! It's hard to believe that in the 56-year history of the greatest sci-fi television show in the English language, there has never been a fan guide to Doctor Who. The official books might give you what they think you need to know, but only a guide written by a true fan will give you what you really want to know. Join Whovian, the brilliant Mackenzie Floor, as she takes you on an intensive journey inside the world of the first female Doctor. In the Binge Watcher's Guide to Doctor Who, Season 11. Right, let's get a shift on.
And join us when we eventually play at Doctor Who Worlds Apart, doctorwho-worldsapart.com. We're going to be eventually playing the game, and maybe one of us at the after party will be revealing our packs, because somehow or another I might have obtained another pack. I'm going to get Nisha back on that one. And for our friends who saw the commercial for the speakers earlier, the Doctor Who speakers, go to Amazon.com and /FameTech, spelled FameTek. For our friends who are listening on the audio, Amazon.com/FameTech. Check them out and tell them the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS sent you. I love that. I need to make him bigger. There we go. He's beautiful.
But he's blurry.
I know. Pull him back just a little, maybe.
But he's just
Yeah,
tiny, so it's not going to work.
He's tiny. He's a tiny 9. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. For those of you just joining us, we're doing a review of the Big Finish episode Ravagers, starting Christopher Eccleston, reprising his role of the Ninth Doctor. He couldn't be happier, and we're having a great... Oh, hi there! He's here! That's right. We are doing Nine's stuff. We got the Doctors back. It is, yes. Thank you for joining us, Nine. If you ever want to review yourself, go ahead. William Joseph Roberts, he asked, do you ever do book reviews? That might be something we might look to in the future.
We have done Doctor Who's Scratchman. So
we did,
that was the one from Tom Baker, I believe, was ghostwritten by James Goss, who is a huge contributor. A lot of his novels are amazing, but a contributor to Big Finish, a producer.
And we also did Sophie Aldred's A Childhood End. A Child's End.
And that may be the first time Kristen's got that title right.
Shush.
Just so everybody knows, in our chats for this thing, Christian called this every title except Ravagers. There was
that's their chats. You get it on the air too.
Sophie will not let it go. Sophie will not. Ravagers. Sophie will not let it go. Kid Michaela J, there you are. Found you on Tube of Views. Check her out.
Yes, who else found us on YouTube?
Oh, all the doctors there? Oh yeah, there we go. Do me a favor, Melanie. Go ahead and put up the YouTube section. Tell these guys to subscribe out there. And for those of you, they already have. All right. If that's the case, we are now reviewing part 3, which is a food fight. And I think Mackenzie went for so. Melanie, I think you're going to take over on this one. Started off with food fight. What did you think of?
Did Dave go with Cataclysm? I
did. Yeah. I think you just. Yeah, he did. It was a little short, but it's fine. That particular episode is short. All the doctors here. Yes, Michaela. Yeah, all the doctors are. 5th Doctor. That's actually funny. 4th and 10th Doctor are here too. We were actually planning to do, and hopefully we'll be doing Out of Time soon. And there's Graham in the middle of all of us, every single one of them. So Melanie, go ahead and take us out. Food fight. What do you think of the last episode of Ravagers?
Food fight really did kind of tie everything together. So I thought it was a great ending for it. I know there was another kind of a music suite at the very, very end. So I know its runtime is probably, it says an hour, but there was a little bit of, more of a music kind of interlude at the very end. If you're somebody who went to, if you're somebody like me who went to Disney a lot, or, can when your annual pass holder, it's music that would fit like in a Space Mountain, funny enough. So to me it just kind of had this kind of futuristic outer space kind of some themes to it. So it's kind of a nifty kind of thing to listen to. But yeah, the food fight, it was a great reveal of exactly who we already knew. The Ravagers had already been there. They're the big bad of this episode. So that these are the bad guys, but the Doctor doesn't want to kill anybody. He never does. But I thought it was a great way to tie everything up. It used different aspects of him being able to use the eddies. We finally got timey-wimey a little bit more on where the Ninth Doctor's timeline and Audrey's timeline finally linked up. So you can kind of see, because she knew that she couldn't say anything out of turn because she didn't want to screw anything up. So she already knew a little bit about timelines. She knew enough to be dangerous. To even try to get him to guess things. And then we finally got an idea of what on earth that was. Whenever we kind of did anytime we went to Audrey's point of view, any of the previous episodes, especially in this one, the doctor was there watching her or saying things to her. And it was kind of freaking her out because it would be like 5 years and then she'd see it again another 5 years later, then 10 years later. And we never knew what the heck this was. So finally in Food Fight, we got to see what that was, why the doctor was talking to her. It was kind of why their timeline started. After that, it linked up, and he could finally figure out how to fix this issue. And I thought the way that the bringing the TARDIS, again, this is all spoilers, guys. So I thought him being pulled and being able to speak to the Ravagers because of the TARDIS and the TARDIS key was able to little bit of a TARDIS was able to kind of let them translate and be able to figure out what was going on. And I thought it was great how the TARDIS was able to pull him back, which we've seen that the TARDIS has been able to do with the Eighth Doctor, different stories where the TARDIS has been able to either save the Doctor, pull the Doctor back, do all these kind of things. It's fresh in my mind from the Eighth Doctor because there's an instance in there from the Stranded series. I won't tell you which one, that the TARDIS does something kind of similar. So I thought it was just it great for the big Finish universe. It fit in beautifully. I thought this was a great series, and I think it tied everything up with a bow, honestly, and all the characters too. Although the one thing I did not like is that at the very end, Nova doesn't have it. There's a lot of timelines that are now just kind of wiped out. So everything that we learned about Nova and everything that the growth in Nova wanted to do, maybe it wasn't growth necessarily, but memories she made with the Doctor, finito. They're gone. Poof. So that part kind of made me go, I hate when that happens. It's very bittersweet. But she's probably going to be hopefully traveling with the Doctor now, and we'll have new memories that'll be amazing, and that we now know that she is a nerd.
And William Joseph Robert says, a lot of chatter over here. Yeah, I think, so
I'll shut up so I can go ahead and start watching the show you guys what's going on right now in the YouTube chat. So.
There you go. But I was just like, that was my favorite part of the whole episode was that you're a nerd. And I'm like, is the Doctor calling somebody else a nerd? I thought that was actually funny there. There was something that you mentioned about that he came back like 5 years later, and the first thing that came back to my mind is what episode was it? Rose, you're missing. That he misses the marker by a year, and he brings Rose back a year later.
Yeah,
and she's now a missing person.
Yeah,
that was the first thing that came back to my mind. It's like, oh, he did it again. He screwed it up.
Yeah.
He screwed the pooch down there. Where is there a Fifth Doctor comment up there? Bring up a food fight. Yes. Here's the thing. I'm going to bring this to everybody. Lucky, the Fifth Doctor actually, said during his time was small things is what life is all about. But interesting enough, the Ninth Doctor says lucky is what life is all about. What did you guys think of that comment?
Every Doctor thinks something is different.
Yeah.
We know that the Doctor. Yeah, we got Dalek and a Cyberman in there.
Sorry, go ahead.
We know that the Doctor is constantly changing what he says.
Yes.
So I don't read too deep into things like that until he starts contradicting himself within an iteration, right? When if Christopher Eccleston starts contradicting Christopher Eccleston, hopefully there's a reason or a link there. But in between Doctors,
We actually have a fight between the Doctors and the Daleks during our live stream. This has got to be the most awesome thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm not even. I'm good. Skip my talk. I just want to watch this.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave. We'll keep watching that since you brought up. Let's go ahead and give your take on the last part, the food fight. What did you think of food fight there?
It was good. It was the one. Just out of the necessity of how I ended up having to listen to these, it's the least in my head, which is a bit unfortunate. I did really like as he's replucking, I guess, some of these characters from earlier episodes. Where is it? I did it. He pulls up the captain, and he introduces him as a mildly incompetent British Army officer, but he does his best.
Yes, that was amazing. And he goes,
Just
"Thank you."
brilliant.
But that's
Yeah,
but that
I mean,
is the
he's
beauty
a great
of the
start.
That's the beauty of the Ninth Doctor with stuff like that. It is just yeah.
Or the fact that when the Centurion was going nuts inside the TARDIS because he's thinking these are demons, spirits, and they're trying to kill him. So he goes. They're trying to pull him, to hold him back. And you're like, no, let him go outside. And he goes, don't worry. And he runs outside the TARDIS doors, and they're in the vortex. And he's like, don't worry about it. He'll just keep falling he won't fall too long. I have the bubble. I have the force field around the TARDIS, so he'll just bounce back up. And like the captain, it was the best little comedic part because the captain's like, or lieutenant's just kind of like. He's holding on to the bottom by the edge.
Exactly, yeah.
And he's just like ready to fight people off again. He's like, do you want to come back in here? Because we are... Yeah. It was like the Doctor was just trying to pull the rug underneath them. He's trying to at least use that as a level set to explain to the Centurion, look, we're all on the same side, pal. Mm-hmm. You need to stop trying to fight everybody. And he was still just ready to go and just start beating everyone up. He's like, well, then let go. Fall, you'll bounce back up here. And then when they were trying to lift him, they kept making fun of the fact that this guy was just so swole that they couldn't lift him. I think he was too heavy.
See, I actually give kudos to Nick Briggs. He wrote this episode, and he's got the love of Doctor Who, and he knows the Ninth. He actually portrayed the Ninth Doctor before Christopher Eccleston came in on Big Finish. Sorry, it wasn't that great. I'm sorry, Nick, but I'm glad you did finally get Christopher Eccleston. But yeah, he just knew, he knows the Ninth Doctor so well. And his reaction to things of there. And I harken back for some of us who may be familiar with Classic Who to The Time in the Ronnie, which I kind of like what's happening. Yeah. Which I kind of like what happened in there, because in Time of the Ronnie, the Doctor takes all these scientists from around the universe, ends up saving them, putting them in the TARDIS so you can send them all back home. And I'm just like, nothing, no interaction, nothing, nobody's saying anything, all these brilliant scientists in the TARDIS. And the only thing he has to say is that Einstein going like, Einstein's playing with the console, and he walks up and goes, I'll tell you about it later. It's all relative. And he walks him out of the TARDIS. But just to have all these little conflicting little fun things. I mean, we didn't really need to know much about what was going on in the TARDIS, except for where they came from and what they were going to be doing and how would they interact. That is a good question. What if we took Romans and brought them to the present day? What would that look like right before they're about to fight? Well, speaking of Centurions, Mackenzie, I wrote down for this episode, is this the Big Bang 2?
Yeah, you could. Yeah. I would say you could kind of say that, because it is in this particular, all three of those, that the world goes away, and then Doctor, of course, has to fix it. And I liked how with this particular episode how it closed off, where we go back to when the Doctor first gets to see Nova, and they have that encounter with her all over again, except it goes a different direction because she doesn't remember who he was or what they did. So I had to agree with Melanie there that was a bit of a moment on that part in there. But yeah, I definitely could say this is definitely another Big Bang. And we'll say Big Bang number 3.
Yeah, well, how many times have we hit that Big Bang over and over and over again, reboot the universe out there? Yeah. So, Mackenzie, what did you think of Food Fight?
I liked the episode a lot. Overall, I think my favorite one would probably have been the second one, just because it really helped to this one helped to tie everything together. But I felt like it was just, everything was so fast in its pacing that it actually could have probably been gone a little bit longer, and it would have maybe not felt so kind of disconnected in some parts where it just felt so rushed.
Right. I don't even know how to answer that, because I think it had a long enough story that I think if it went too far long, it would have drowned it out what was going on. I think you had the right pacing going on, where we had to take a break because Nova's captured by and ending up on a planet where she's about to get ripped apart, or, where intelligence is now a virus or pollution out there. But, what is it then? You can do, I don't know why I wrote this down. Well, you can't do what you were, you can't rewrite history. I thought it was funny because the section is that Nova's going, you can't do what you I scribbled it in there, unfortunately. That's my bad handwriting. You can't do what you are with history. And the Doctor says, oh, but yeah, you can, which is actually a contradiction to the first Doctor, who says you can't rewrite one line of history, not one line. And it's just like, wow, now in his 9th persona, he's kind of changed his mind on that. So
Yeah.
Which I think, honestly,
See
a little
previous
bit
statement
from...
of it.
Yeah. I think it's since he is still kind of fresh from the Time War. I mean, and
Yeah.
in this box set, he never says Time Lords. He says long dead race. And even at one point, Audrey's like, well, who? You know, who were they? And he was just like, nothing important, either nothing important or he just kind of fobbed it away. He never answered her.
do you think the 9th Doctor's experience and lifetime is a precursor to what eventually would be the 10th Doctor's Time Lord Victorious? Do you think that PTSD finally caught up to him in that moment from what you see in the 9th Doctor?
I think it caught up to him with, what do you mean, like on Waters of Mars?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at that point, the whole 50th thing is not existent.
Right.
Yeah. And
So
I
there is no War Doctor that's not within the realm of canon yet because it hadn't been invented, you know, within the show. So yes, I emphatically agree.
Yeah, I agree too. I always call the 10th Doctor the emo Doctor until 12 came around.
He's more of a... I wouldn't say... yeah, that's... Well, speaking of which, does anybody want to know my rating? Great. Well, we got a commercial break. When we return, I will give my rating, my final take, and we'll give our final notes before we go into our after party when we return. And we return with all the Doctors. Please continue to log on, stay tuned in, and become part of the legend.
Meet the Doctor.
I'm the Doctor.
But not the one you were expecting.
All right, sexy. It's time to go home.
Doctor Who Velocity. Streaming now.
Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kep at CKOEPP.com today.
This is Cosplay Michael with the Hanging With Web Show. I want to tell you about my friends at Embellis Effects in Orlando, Florida. They've got makeup, costumes, and props for all of your costume needs. And the team at Embellis Effects is helpful and friendly. Embellis Effects is one of my favorite places, and I know it will be yours too. I'll see you there. Or go to embelliseffects.com. And remember, cosplay is for everyone.
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television, or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin' With Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin' With Web Show features professional, yet casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin' With Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
I'm a total idiot. Because I forgot this. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, on our Twitch channel, on the Wizard World page, don't thank us. Thank our friends at geekinsider.com. We're powered by geekinsider.com. Please check them out and don't forget to subscribe.
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.
Yeah, I knew I forgot something earlier. By the way, for our friends who watched the commercial for Doctor Who Velocity, they will be having a new episode coming very shortly.
Ooh, look
It
how
is
high tech.
the 10th Muse. So check them out. Go to our friends over at Doctor Who Velocity on their Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, and subscribe. Chris Moore does an awesome job playing her doctor.
Yes, please. Good one, Dave. You saved us.
Yeah, exactly. Shut up.
I know what that cat was doing. He was like, "Oh, let me turn around. I'm showing you my good side."
Well, here's the piece of paper that
it was fine all through the commercials, and just right as soon as the very end, it's like, doop.
Here's my butt.
Check out Doctor Who Velocity. Check out our friends over at Doctor Who Worlds Apart, Femtech, and here's my rating.
A 9.
A 9.
A 9.
And earlier they were going like, Christian's got a lower rating than the rest of us. So yeah, because in my mind, this was an episode that I could easily see fit into the bookshelves of his series. Wishing he had longer. If he had a second series, this would have easily fit in there. Or even if they were doing an episode where they managed to convince Chris to do like a before season, just leading up to his meeting with Rose. This works. Nick Briggs nailed the character as far as what Christopher says. I was geeking out so hard, I kept rewinding it every time he would call Nova a nerd. You can tell that Christopher was having a great time calling the doctor calling somebody else a nerd. That was just hysterical.
A sci-fi nerd.
A sci-fi nerd. And they were just talking, and they were just both geeking out. He was just asking her, where did you get this? And it turned out she was a kid of sci-fi. And guess what? We're all kids of sci-fi. So we're hopefully we're as smart as Nova in this particular case out there. And we want to thank all the doctors for joining us. So I gave it a 9 because I think it is just what the doctor ordered. This was a great episode. The only drawbacks were there were a couple of confusing moments that I think Nick was just trying to get out there so that it kept going and the flow kept moving, which I appreciated, but I had to stop and pause and go back and go like, okay, what just happened here? So I really don't have too much of a criticism. Nova was a great companion for the Ninth Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she just stood her own ground, and that's very hard to do with the way that Christopher interprets the Doctor. You're going to have somebody who's got to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. Whereas I'm not downing Billy Piper, or Rose, or Martha, and everybody who's come after. It's just that her character works so well, spot on, and it was just. I don't know about the final reveal where he finally finds out why she's like that. She's annoyed. So, but I enjoyed it immensely. If there is a part 2, we're definitely going to get in and review it. I love it.
Yep.
But Christopher's
sure there's plans, but I think they said this is into their new release schedule. So I don't think we'll see another one for about a year, if I remember right.
If they bring Nova back,
right. They're changing out of their monthlies and doing a different doctor each month.
Leave me there. I know you have your favorite doctor. Ted, I don't want to tell anybody else. Oh, wow. Crawley, yes. So I enjoyed it immensely. I mean, I was really, like I said, the only reason why I had to go back was to try to get the confusion out. But some of it was really cool stuff that I just wanted to remind. There were so many great lines in there that are Ninth Doctor-ish that Nick Briggs really hit it off of. And I was just enjoying every moment. And I can't wait. Oh, my gosh. You're really giving the love for 10. Yeah, I know. I get it there. 10 is really getting some love from Melanie today. For those of you who are listening to the audio. And, of course, we want to thank our friends over at the Hanging with Web show. If you're listening to the audio on iHeartRadio, on Spreaker, Spotify, wherever you're listening to your favorite podcast, we want to thank them for helping us out get our audio version of this show out there. So we're down to just a few bare moments. And does anybody have any final words before we end the audio portion of our show. Go for it, Melanie.
I think because this is our really first, we've been waiting, we've been hoping and dreaming that we were going to get a Ninth Doctor big finish. This was something that we've been wanting for years, but it was a very, it's wishful thinking, and it's happened. I think one of the best gifts of this is that in this, even though I could wish it could be a little longer, I wish there was more, more episodes. I wish it was the full 4, not necessarily just 3 episodes. They're all telling blah 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 blah. For first thing out, this is absolutely astounding. I would highly recommend listening to it because it did not disappoint. We've been wanting a Ninth Doctor story. This was Eccleston coming back as the Ninth Doctor. He just hit the ground running, and it was just it's flawless. I, knocked it down by 2 again because it's not as long, blah 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 blah. But I could agree with Christian with it. You could give it a 9. I could see where people could give it a 10. It's a great story, and one of the best gifts of it is the 4th section of this is an hour-long behind the scenes, explaining that they've been, they were trying, that, finally the timelines kind of, for us in real life, the timelines worked together. Chris had time. Big Finish had time. Nicholas Briggs had written on a Sunday 22 pages of this story because at first it was kind of will it really work with Roman Centurions? And he did this and did a treatment and oh my God, this is going to work. So it was just a perfect storm and we get to reap the benefits. So give it a listen.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, everybody who are listening to us on the audio version. 10th Doctor, I knew it. I love the doctors come. For those of you listening to the audio, we have all 13 doctors and some other special guests with us today. And then
in the YouTube chat, they are enjoying. All of the doctors are in there chatting along because this is a Doctor Who invasion. So if you can, give them a like and a subscribe as well, because it's just not going to come out right, but we like being invaded by them.
We love being invaded by them out there. And the Ninth Doctor made a comment to you, Melanie. He's coming.
I'll go back.
Very fluffy co-host. Forget about it.
It's Big Finish cutting the check, so hey.
I don't blame you. After what I've heard,
maybe we'll have conventions again. We can see you, and then I can get that, signed.
Definitely.
I'll paint you next, babe.
Actually, Christopher Eccleston, I saw somewhere out there. I'm going to try to see if I can catch it again. He's actually booked his first convention. I don't know. I forgot. It was just a quick blip on my radar, and I was just like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll check it out later." But it's not here in Florida.
Well, he was scheduled to be over here right before everything shut down.
Right.
Yeah, he was scheduled to be in Motor City, so maybe that might be he was originally there. And Motor City just announced they're coming back. They're going to be the same weekend as Indiana Comic Con. So now I got a conflict.
So for those of you who have watched this, I just want to play this again because I think it's so cool. Spoiler alert.
What?
Spoilers.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you're a little late if you're listening now because you heard the whole show, but definitely if you want to check this out, I'd highly recommend this. And I'm going to wrap this up by saying I think this opens the door for a lot more things to happen. Could you imagine 4 and 9, 9 and 10, 9, just having the multi-doctors or having 9 come up with other companions like they've done in multiverses out there? Yep, that's you there, sir. And want to thank you all for joining us out there. Please continue to stay logged on, tune in, and become part of the legend. Please stay safe out there. Guys, we can't wait until we see you out there. We've already booked MegaCon, Tampa Bay Comic-Con, Central Florida Comic-Con that's coming up. And
so if you're along the I-4 corridor of Florida, there you are.
We're going to be out there for you. We're going to be representing. And we also booked San Diego Comic-Con, and there'll be more conventions as things open up out there. Imagine all of us in one episode, just like this episode. Yeah. We don't want to imagine. We want it to happen.
But it would be weird.
It would be weird.
It would be too weird.
Speaking of weird, let's go ahead and end the show, and let's get to our after party. Thank you for joining us and listening to us on iHeartRadio, wherever you're listening to us. Thank you. Please stay safe. We'll see you out there, and always become part of the legend. And we want to thank everybody at Wizard World for joining us out there. And don't forget, All right.
All right.
And don't forget to join us on our YouTube channel. Again, for those of you who are just joining us, please check us out at youtube.com, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Our episode that we just wrapped up, the Ravagers. Also, if you want, we have exclusive content, the Who Knew News. This is our take on real-time news, present-day stuff. We'll be getting out some of those new episodes later on, Bits of the TARDIS, presented by the rathole.ca, where we take bite-sized bits of episodes, and if you want to check them out later, you can. And there also are full-length episodes, our interviews with people like Benji Clifford from A Big Finish, Yi Cho. We talked about the 25th anniversary of the 8th Doctor. 25 years. It's been that long. Dr. David Brin, Bill Sadler from Bill and Ted Face the Music, Ian McNeese, Paul McGann, Sylvester McCoy. They've been on here, as well as Annette Badland. We can also do Big Finish reviews, which we just did now, as well as Doctor Who episodes of the actual TV show, and the Game On series, which is where we're just going to have a good time. And we're hoping we're going to expand on that very shortly. But YouTube.com/The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I can open up. Let me get rid of that.
So what are we doing now?
I can.
You're waiting for Christian to get set up for the next thing.
I was going to.
Sweet. So water. Cool.
Do we want to do some pack openings?
I still got my packs from last time.
Oh, okay. Did you? Yeah, you can open up your packs. Go for it.
It's light that's on me. Good Lord!
It's the sun.
Serious.
It's the sun.
I'm sitting here going, a migraine. If it hits my eye, I'm just like.
Oh.
So, for those of you who are not familiar with what we do in our after parties, if you have any questions or anything you want to bring up at this time, by all means, go ahead. Later on down the line, we are going to be participating in Doctor Who Worlds Apart. A lot of our after parties, we've been opening our packs, and you can go to right now, doctorwho-worldsapart.com, and get your virtual trading cards. And we're going to be having a blast out there. Once we get everything settled, once they get things moving, we're going to actually have a live game going on, maybe hopefully a few, because all of us are trying to make sure that Nisha, with her 7 out of 10 legendary cards, is going to get beat hard out there.
Again, you do not have to purchase cards
Exactly.
in order to play. You will just be selecting, you'll be dealt a random deck, and you will be able to play that way. So you will not have to buy cards. However, if you want to be able to pick out your cards, this is where you can go ahead and purchase cards, and then you can also trade them, play with them, sell them, all those other kind of fine things. Because there is NFT non-fungible token attached to it, and I believe it's done if you go onto realitygaminggroup.com or even go onto their social media, you can learn more about what NFTs they use and how they are their carbon footprint, how they're more lack of a better term, eco-friendly. You can learn a little bit more about what they're doing to offset any of that kind of fun stuff. And I believe their carbon footprint is at a net zero. So,
while Mackenzie's getting her stuff up, let's put our stuff up. If you want to advertise with us on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, advertise with us at sage@hangingwithshow.com or Christian@hangingwithshow, HANGIN withshow.com. Check us out on our Facebook page, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, now climbing up to 53,000 Facebook subscribers. Can't believe that there are many people, but we are closing in on that number very quickly. Check out the website, thelegendofthetravelingtardis.com, and we want to give special thank you to our friends that we're simulcasting right now at facebook.com /wizardworld. That's facebook.com/wizardworld. Check out their merch at wizardworldvault.com there.
and we have somebody coming in the comment section saying hello to somebody who, well, we couldn't be here without him. Helped start it all.
Yes!
Garrett, William, Bobinger,
Got
Murray,
it there. Speaking of bringing
famous
something
author.
boom! And I'm going. This one I'm going to actually give to Mackenzie, and I will go to the bottom of the list here.
Oh.
There we go.
He's down there.
Hopefully this will drag.
So
There we go.
if you get packs, you go to doctorwho-worldsapart.com. You can open up your packs, and that's what we're doing right here. They're actually going to be mysterious, so they'll be flipped over. and we're going to be turning them over one at a time. Garrett, we love you too, and thank you for all the love. Thank you for supporting our audio section of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. We can't do it without them. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, CBS Radio.com. Yeah, we're opening packs. Here we go, Doctor.
Yeah.
What do we got out here?
Drop your link for your YouTube in the comment section. I want to show everybody where you're at so they can find you too with your invasions, because they are very fun to watch. And we appreciate them.
Yes.
Yes.
So we got the first reveal. We've got Cybermen on the top, Daleks on the bottom as far as the cards are concerned, the back of the cards. So what do we got there, Mackenzie? What do you got?
So I've got a creature called Sky Trench. It's a flight armor 3, can only block creatures with flight.
Oh, the Sky Trench.
My Ood army is safe. Sweet.
Sky Trenches are the trenches that were protecting Gallifrey during the Time War.
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, it took me a while to figure out what that meant. But if you listen to when the 3 doctors are there inside the barn, the 10th Doctor makes a quick reference because Sky Trenches are holding. So those are the defense mechanisms against the Daleks during the Time War. What they are, I really don't know. Next up, Mackenzie, what you got?
We've got the Matrix of Time, and it's a phenomenon. And whenever you play a card, the next card with the same name you play costs 1 less for the rest of the game. This card or this effect stacks with each filing card of the same name.
Oh, okay.
What is that? The Wrath of?
It's the Matrix of Time.
Matrix of Time. Okay.
Yeah.
The
like the 13. I'm like trying to. It's the Sonic. I think that's 13 there on there as well.
Gotcha. Next pack, please. Next card. What do we got?
Eaten by Shadows.
Oh.
Whoa! It's a flash. Destroy an organic creature.
My army of Ood. No. As everyone can tell, I am fully prepared to play with an army of Ood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's very Ood. Here we go.
Oh, speaking
the Red
of
Leech. He's back.
Yeah, we got this Red Leech. So when played, attach this to a creature at the end of your turn, incapacitate it. Ooh. At the end of your next turn, destroy it. And when the host is destroyed, summon a friendly Red Leech. Hey.
Okay. Well, for those of you who are joining us, I can't post this link. I'm not a real mod. I'm pretending.
Yeah.
I'm at YouTube/Doctor Who Time Lord. So anybody,
go find Doctor Who Time Lord and give them a like and love them and subscribe to them and do anything else that you could do.
Right. After this show, then you can do whatever you want to.
Open another browser. You can do it.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Cryochamber.
Yeah.
No problem, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we got an object. This is a cryo chamber. It is preserve a friendly creature on this or resummon a preserved creature.
Yay, I can preserve my Oods.
Yay!
Melanie's doomed.
I will beat Christian with an Ood army. Watch.
You know what? I read that wrong because the letters are so small. I thought it said something else. Yeah. Okay. Mackenzie's not the only.
Yeah.
Mackenzie knows what I'm talking about. It's so tiny, but I saw what it is. I'm like, who?
Hello, Dave travels through Time Channel 2. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Dave. Thank you for joining us. We're doing the unpacking for Doctor Who Worlds Apart. Akatan.
Yay! We're always going to be safe.
Yeah, that's Akatan.
Thank you.
It's another phenomenon. This seems to be a phenomenon deck or something.
Phenomenon.
Whenever a player plays a card, they choose a card from the past to erase.
Okay.
Ooh.
Let's check it out there. I don't see any legendaries.
Not me either yet.
Yes.
A lot of things have a higher, like, Arton energy count, because this one's a 7, the other one was an 8.
Yeah.
Is that Tim Shaw?
This is Tim Shaw. So I have the other Tim Shaw card. So now I have 2. I got Tim Shaw, this different version of Tim Shaw, the Broken. And when this damages an organic creature, destroy that creature.
Oh.
Bye-bye, Ood.
Not if I have
Melanie-
a prayer chamber.
Anytime Melanie's playing, Mackenzie will be there. She's got to wipe her out.
And for some reason, my deck is full of Daleks, and I don't think I have Daleks today yet. So now I got another Dalek.
Okay.
Somebody got a cost one less for each present Dalek.
An army of Daleks.
I have an army of
Daleks.
Daleks. Yeah. Oh,
Energy
and
surge.
energy surge. Where you disable all objects and mechanical creatures.
Got it. And last one on this particular pack, Cyber King. Oh yeah. 7. Jeez.
It looks like a Lego. Place a friendly creature inside this to pilot it, and you can't attack or block unless it has a pilot.
Ah! You and your army of Daleks have now summoned the Dalek back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if Melody has an army of Oods, they're all wiped.
No, army of Ood! No! I'm gonna have an army of Ood, and they will.
Yeah, you're going. You're going. You're going.
Let's see if this one brings us any legendary cards.
There you go. Yeah, I know. We need to get more legendary.
Yay!
Yeah!
Yay!
And I got 12.
12 is here.
Yay! So after you cast a flash, add a copy of it to your TARDIS. And then it has something with 10 and cast a Meyer repair kit on a creature from the past.
Ooh.
Hey!
So something gets exterminated.
I'm going to see something original. We've seen a couple new originals here.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
See, Carl's got my back.
Oods always get picked on, I know.
I've got nothing but love for Oods.
Dauntless Prison. So it's an object when played. Place an enemy non-human creature on this until your next turn. Yeah, like an Ood, yeah. And you can add a random upgrade to your TARDIS based on the imprisoned creature's race.
The 12th Doctor has chimed in that is the best card. The first one, naturally.
Yeah.
His card. There's no hubris here.
It's the best card, the first one.
Lots.
I think he wants to quit. He's like, we're done. What's that?
What is that?
Oh, the Kraken.
Oh, this is
Kraken
incapacitated. This is an incapacitated doctor.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Don't scare us, our doctors, please.
No,
all our doctors are in the chat room. Don't scare us. We won't use that card. We promise we won't use that card here.
No, save our doctors.
Or save
There
our
is
doctors.
a card, and I don't remember if it is the fugitive doctor or if it is, or if it might be the caretaker. There's somebody has a card that says, you play the name of the doctor, you have that card. So that might be where this. Oh, look at this! Another 12.
Why?
You get 2 12s.
Why? Two 12s make it 24.
What does the 12th Doctor say? It says the 12th Doctor and then dash. What's the nickname?
It says companion, the doctor. And then it also has.
I think you were referring to the top.
At the top, it would be Dr. Mysterio.
Dr. Mysterio, yeah, I've seen those.
Oh, okay.
I think I have one.
Interesting. And then we've got the next one is a nether spear and erase a human from your past. Then summon a cyber warrior. Woo!
The 12th Doctor says yes. And I'm winning. I think you are. Clearly.
Another 12th Doctor. No.
I know, right?
Right. That would be fun. That would be hilarious.
An army of Ood led by the 12th Doctor.
Yeah.
Yes.
All 12 of them.
Trap Street.
I want to find an army of 12 doctors.
Yeah. And this one has to do with Mayor Me. So if Mayor Me dies while this is present, place her here instead. She's cleansed and resummoned with a full health at the start of your turn. Or at the end of your turn, heal all non-humans by 1. So there's your Oods.
Grief. Sorry,
No, it's Geronimo.
Yeah.
The previous boyfriend incarnation.
So 12 and 11 is
12 and 11.
Oh, and Mackenzie's wearing her fez because nothing gets
yeah,
past
there
me.
you go, of course.
I don't know when you put that on, but my brain's just.
I just did it.
You have it on the whole show. What are you talking
It's
about?
on the whole show. I'm insane.
It's been on the whole time.
Well,
Oh, here we got another Dalek from my Daleks. I got a Dalek clone, so now I can exterminate the opposing enemy.
It's it's almost like our doctors and our monsters are playing in the actual chat.
Yeah,
What the game would eventually come out to be.
I think this is for you, Mackenzie. The eye.
The eye. What is
Knew
that?
it.
This last
the
one is
Time Fisher.
Time Fisher, and it is choose a creature, add it to your opponent's future, or add it to your future, or add it to the past. Okay.
That is awesome. What was
Yeah.
that?
Oh,
Oh,
look
no,
at
no.
that, number 4.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay.
Yeah, but do they have the legendary on them?
No legendaries.
None
Yeah,
of these are legendaries, aren't
none
they?
of these are legendaries. So I
Poo-poo
have
platter.
gone into the store and I got a couple legendary cards. But that's all the packs I haven't
all
gotten any new ones yet. Any of the angels, I gotta still pick those up. So if you got some, somebody else can take over.
Look.
I will.
We got 9 minutes left.
Do you want to do it, Melanie, or do you want me to pull up?
If you're already set, I just
Kind of. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and share my screen.
Yeah, because mine's still unloading.
Got it. Here we go. Well, yeah.
Here we go.
There we go. Yeah,
That's
but
what the
I got one
Centurion
in
was
there.
basically hanging off of.
I actually got one on purpose. I got the Weeping Angel one.
Yeah, that's one I need to pick up yet.
So let's bust this package wide open. Oh wow, I love the arm that came out. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Let's see what we got here. Oh God, 5. Okay.
Oh.
Do you want me to move? I'll move down so you can talk.
Oh, that's fine.
No, that way I can get
Oh wow, what's going on with that? Oh my God, what are they doing? They're jittering. They're like they're doing the jitters or something like that. Okay. So that's scary.
Guys, don't blink.
I'm not. I'm gonna have to keep my eyes open as I.
You
turn these
literally
things around.
are making it so that they're turning around to you.
Yeah. So here
don't
we
blink.
go. God, please stop that. That's scaring me. Healing nanogenes.
That's a Ninth Doctor thing. That's a Ninth Doctor hand.
That's a Ninth Doctor thing.
That's a Ninth Doctor hand right there.
Bring me the Ninth Doctor up there. Okay, so healing nanogenes. Give a creature at the start of your turn. Cleanse this creature and restore to health. So should I go right or left? Who wants to say?
I'm just not blinking.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll go left.
Okay, I'm blinking.
Red Death. Destroy an organic creature. If an Earth, destroy all organic creatures.
No! No, my army moves up.
I'm playing with Melanie.
My army
I am playing with Melanie.
Has anyone gotten, as Dave travels
Harold.
through time, Channel 2, ask if there's any Harold Saxon cards?
I don't think so.
I don't know of any just yet. I don't think I've opened any.
And I just want to let you know, this particular pack is actually from what's that? Damn, I can't think of the game. The app game. Gosh, somebody's gonna kick me on that one.
Okay.
We had them on the show. I can't remember the
Lonely
name.
Assassins?
Lonely Assassins, yeah.
Lonely Assassins game. Yeah, this is from Lonely Assassins. So,
which makes sense with why they're shimmering like they're all digital and stuff, because they are.
You got a healing beam, cleanse a creature, and restore its health. Yes. Nothing here is. Is there anything legendary? I forgot. I think that one, right?
No, because legendary is the diamond.
Yeah, the
It's a
red
white
death
diamond.
it's a white diamond. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like a diamond
All right.
cut diamond in a ring diamond.
Got it. Here we go. Skimmer. Give a creature flight. Oh, is that the
the Third Doctor's?
Yeah, I was like,
device?
I think, is that what it's called? A skimmer? It says give a creature flight. I like it. I like it a lot. And let's do the final one of the Lonely Assassin series. Here we go. Silent Infiltrator, Stealth, Lethargic, Poison. Yes. Your root are mine. Nah. So that is the... Yes. Those are the... that was the Lonely Assassin pack. So I'll open up one more. So we got time, I think.
I'm trying to search. I can't remember how to search through this.
Got it.
Framing.
Let's jerk it in there. There you go. I did love watching the Weeping Angels grab and open the box and rip it open. That was so cool.
That is kind of cool.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, the marketplace.
You know what? I'm going to start right. Here we go. Bronze Dalek, fight, exterminate, low-cost non-Dalek. Oh my god, lowest
Hello,
cost
Keisha.
non-Dalek. Who's there? Who we got?
Keisha saying hello.
Oh,
Beautiful
Keisha,
people.
hi.
That's
Keisha,
very kind.
yeah. Thank you for coming. And flight exterminate, and let's see this one. Machine that goes ding. Yes! The machine that goes ding from the 50th anniversary. Revert a Zygon back to its normal form. I love it. It's a machine that goes ding. Prisoner Zero. Creature multiform. Perception filter. After 3 turns, gain something. Copy a creature and incapacitate it for as long as Prisoner Zero stays alive. Prisoner Zero reverts back to its normal state when the new form is destroyed. One more. The monk statue. Did somebody have this one? When played, choose a name card. Choose a card name. Cards with a chosen name cost 1 TARDIS more to cast for each monk statue you control. That's cool. And finally, yeah, there we go.
What?
Third Doctor representing in there.
Oh, you went left or right.
Third Doctor. So if the Third Doctor's still in our chat, give it a shout out there. I got your back, big brother. Your other companions and humans have
Dave,
+2 when this blocks or is blocked. Incapacitate the enemy creature. Got it. All right, let's go to the Daleks. Time distortion.
Hey, it's a
Flash.
legendary.
I got a legendary. Yay.
What?
The legendary.
That's a legendary.
Finally.
Time distortion.
That's a
Choose
diamond.
1 counter a creature or erase an object or phenomenon or duplicate the effect of the next moment, flash, or active ability. Jesus. Wow. Okay. Yucca. Cancel the detonation. Yeah, I love that. Counter a small target moment, flash, or ability. Okay. So if anybody's starting to pull out moments and stuff, I'm pretty much taken care of at this moment. Pun intended. Ice Warrior ship.
Ooh.
Object. Whenever a friendly Ice Warrior dies, teleport it to the ship instead. When this is destroyed, summon all Ice Warriors within it. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's
Sick.
a mean card.
That is a mean card. I still love the machine that goes ding. Get this one. Curious Paleontologist. Okay, we've seen that one. At the end of your turn, if you control a reptile, draw a card. And last but not least for this pack. Ooh! Oh, Melanie, I got your army counting.
no. I have a whole
I got me
army.
an Ood too.
I want to watch the Ood
Third
versus
Doctor's in
Ood
the house
match.
saying, I know.
Ood versus
I look
Ood.
good.
When played, look into your future once for each Ood you control. Can't block unless you control another Ood. Okay.
Ha!
That
See, you
is-
need an army in order. Okay.
So
See, the
that
Third Doctor
is-
says, I know. I look good.
I look good. Yeah. There you go.
And what can you do?
So we'll save the final pack because we only got a few minutes left. We'll save the final pack for another show. So I'll stop sharing there.
Christian, answer Keisha's question. She asked,
What was that?
what is this game called? Sorry, I'm like,
Oh, yes. This is called Doctor Who Worlds Apart, Doctor Who-worldsapart.com. And rewind the episode. We've explained this. Sorry,
oh,
but,
stop that. It's an online game.
It's a virtual trading card game. Plus, when we go live, when Worlds Apart finally goes live, we'll be playing this game live so we can show people how it works. They're trading cards.
You can purchase
NFT,
trading cards, or you
or
can, when the game goes live, you do not have to buy cards. You will get a random sorted pack. It's not like you're going to be able to keep the cards, but you can still play. This, however, you get to keep the cards because each one has a basic serial number attached to it, i.e. the trendy little anagram that we know and love, NFT. So it's yours. You could keep it. You could trade it. You could sell it. So
and
that's
they're
Doctor Who Worlds
and
Apart.
they're eco-friendly. This is an eco-friendly trading card. So
I'll tell you more about how they use their NFTs, how Reality Gaming Group basically goes. They're at I believe a net zero for their carbon footprint. That I believe they're moving to a different base. Go onto their website. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I know there was a lot of environmental concerns considering, when it comes to mining, especially like Ethereum and like Bitcoin, how, it's always proof of work and how some people are trying to get to proof of, was it proof of stock? I can't remember it. But go on to realitygaminggroup.com. You can learn more about that if that's which is a genuine concern, but if it's also a concern for yourself, you can research it there.
You got it. Speaking of which, of research, this is the end of our show. We want to thank everybody at Wizard World again. Facebook.com/WizardWorld. Oh, thank you, Keisha. Awesome. And don't forget to check out their merch over at Wizard World Vault. And for everybody who's about to leave, before you walk out that door, you better be subscribing. Hit the notification bell and subscribe at youtube.com, the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. We're about to hit, we're trying to get to our next goal. I should say, we're trying to get more watch time, so watch as many episodes as you like. We got Sylvester McCoy, we've got Annette Badline, we've got Paul McGann. And of course, this is the 25th anniversary of the TV movie this month. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the actual date's the 14th of May. I think that's when it premiered. But we have an interview with Paul McGann.
in Canada.
12th in Kansas.
I was gonna say it was. There's 2 different dates.
It's always got to rub that in.
Yep.
3 actually. It was even later in the UK. UK got it last, oddly enough.
UK got it last. So
to answer the question earlier, I'm still trying to find out whether or not there's a Harold Saxon card. I'm not finding it yet, only because the marketplace still doesn't have an area to do a search. So I'm literally kind of clicking, and I'm still like in the C's. So it's.
I will check, but I don't think there is one.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure that there is a MasterCard for him, but there's not anything that says Harold Saxon that I can remember.
Yeah. Let me check something real fast because okay. Wait, you know what? Isn't there a way to go to the collection and you can tell it I don't want to see my cards? It's like what I don't have. There we go.
Yeah, but there's no way to actually kind of search.
Yeah.
Specifically.
So, you have to go through each one. Yeah. You know what? I think.
I'm like in the D's. I'll tell you all the Daleks that there are.
Lots of Daleks.
Lots of Daleks. No, I don't want my owned. No, I don't want owned. I want not owned. This is.
So if we can find the answer, we'll make sure to at least post it as a comment or a link into the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Or if you like, you can go to yourself and go to the
click. But yeah,
click. So check it out at Doctor Who Worlds Apart. Let's go ahead and end the show. Thank you everybody for joining us today. We'll have an episode next week. Don't forget, go to our Facebook page for our Locked In 4 events for this year because we will be expanding that. We have been talking to SD Who. Which will be taking place in October. So we're going to be interested in how they're going to get us over there. But we are confirmed for SD Who. Can you post your episode name where it is all explained?
Yes,
to those
we'll put the links in the comment description.
Yes. Oh yeah, we'll
put the links in below so that way if you want to see anything more about Worlds Apart, we will refer to those episodes where you can see it on yourself, or where you can see where we did it, or where Dave actually did let us in a game demo. And had people on from Reality Gaming Group. We had Mort. We had the co-CEO, Tony.
Yes. And there is actually a section called Game On in our YouTube channel, and you can just look for the ones that say Unpacking or Worlds Apart, and those will be the answers. Bye, guys. Thank you for the stream. Thank you, Doctor Who, and thank you, doctors, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again. Please stay safe out there. Bye, Melanie. Keep me on the wall.
I'll keep you on the wall. I promise.
Now it's 13's got to say something about it.
I know, right?
Thank you, Cindy. Cindy Cap. Check her out at ckoepp.com on her author books. Check her out in her series Animal Eye. Let's go ahead. I got to find the button. I'm working on it there. So thank you, folks. Enjoy. Please stay safe, and thank you for joining us as always. Yep. Sonic me.